What if I told you you could retire years, maybe even decades earlier, with money you never had to earn? That sounds crazy, right? But it's not crazy. In fact, I'm relying on it to reach financial independence. It's called unearned income, and the more you have of it, the better. I'm the fireman, and I'm on a mission to be financially independent before I turn 30 years old. But to do that, I can't just rely on bi-weekly paychecks. It's not that I have a bad job, it's just that being financially independent at 30 is a very aggressive goal. I also don't have much more time to earn income because I'm so busy running the Running on Fire YouTube channel and the Fireman's blog for y'all. But luckily, I don't have to earn more income. That's because I can get unearned income. Unearned income is income you, well, didn't have to earn. And the easiest example of unearned income is investment returns. That's good news because investing really isn't that hard and basically anyone can do it.
Investment returns count as unearned income because you're not the one earning the money. In fact, it's your money that's earning you the money. And you might be saying, hold on, the only way I get a good investment return is through expert analysis and lots of time, right? Well, not really. That's because while you can spend a lot of time on your investments, you don't really have to. It's not your analysis that makes your money make money. In fact, most people shouldn't think too much about their investments. Most people lose to the market when they try.
Because money now is better than money later, people will pay you for your money. Or you can just buy assets that make more money. So if you have money to sell now, you can have more money later. How much your money is worth depends on a lot of things, like interest rates and inflation and risk. But no matter what, money is worth something. And that's why index investing, where you buy a small portion of almost every company available in the market, has been such a successful strategy since the market was formed. In fact, it's beaten most of the professional money managers. So sure, you could spend a lot of time reading annual reports, but that's not really where the money comes from. The money comes from simply having money to invest. Every dollar you have is a tiny but hardworking employee, and you're just the owner of the company. On top of that, investing is way more powerful than a lot of people think because it takes a little while to have a big impact. But given enough time, holy heck, it will supercharge your journey to financial independence. All right, let's do an example. Feel free to plug in your own numbers if you want. It shouldn't be too hard. Let's say our theoretical person or family has an income of $100,000.
Whoa, I know that sounds like a lot, but 35% of American households make that much per year. But again, if you don't like that number, you can plug in your own numbers.
In my state, $100,000 in income means $72,000 after taxes are taken out. I'll say this person spends $32,000 a year and stashes away the other $40,000. And yeah, I know $32,000 probably sounds super low to some of you, but to me, it sounds super high. In the county I work in, the average rent is over $2,000 a month, and the average house is like $1.4 million. And I'm getting by on just about $20,000 a year. So $32,000 a year is definitely doable. Plug in your own numbers if you want, but it doesn't really matter. The important part is the insane power of unearned income.
To be financially independent, you need around 25 times your annual expenses. So $32,000 times 25 is $800,000, so that's the target. And if you're confused, you should check out my other video explaining the 4% rule. If our theoretical person or family isn't getting any unearned income, they need to work for 20 years because they're saving $40,000 a year times 20, that equals $800,000. And 20 years isn't that bad. I mean, this family's earning $100,000, which is above average, and they're spending $32,000, which is way below average. So 20 years is about half the time that a lot of people have to spend working. But we can do so much better.
The average return of the stock market has been just about 7%, and that's even adjusting for inflation. If our theoretical person or family started with $0, then after year one, they just have $40,000. They wouldn't have earned any unearned income from investments because they didn't have any. But after year one, they can start to get this unearned income. After the second year, they earned about $3,000 from investment returns. It's a nice little bonus, but not super noticeable. But by the end of year 5, they're earning $12,000 a year in unearned income. And by year 10, whoa, $33,000 a year. By year 13, this person or family would be pulling in over $50,000 a year in unearned income, hit a net worth of $800,000, and be financially independent. That's over 7 years faster than if they didn't have any unearned income.
Now, hold on. There are a couple of disclaimers. First off, I'm assuming salary increases with inflation, which is why I'm not considering inflation in this example. Otherwise, the numbers would get kind of messy. Second, financial projections will never work out like this. There's no such thing as a guaranteed 7% rate of return. That's the historical average, but whether it will average that for the next 13 years is anybody's guess. That's why this family can't retire after 10 years when their unearned income surpasses their expenses.
So obviously this is a toy example, but cutting 7 years off of your working years isn't a joke. That's absolutely possible, and the effects could actually be more extreme than that. To really see how powerful unearned income is, we need to zoom out a little bit. See, for our family making $100,000 a year, unearned income still made a big difference. But by the time they reached financial independence, the majority of their wealth was still from their own income. But what about over a longer time period? Let's say instead of earning $100,000 a year, you had $100,000 in retirement savings. If you could get $10,000 or a 7% return, which would you choose? Well, $10,000 is obviously bigger than $7,000, so next year you'd want the $10,000. But what about over a long period of time? After 11 years, that 7% return would have been more valuable. After that, it's just off to the races. By year 25, your $100,000 would be worth over $500,000. By year 50, you'd be worth just short of $3 million. In year 100, you'd have a fortune of over $86 million. Again, that's just with an investment of $100,000, no extra income, and a 7% inflation-adjusted return, which means that $86 million is in today's money. Even better, it's all unearned.
Your time is a limited resource, so even if you're earning $100 an hour, your wealth is still limited. With enough unearned income, whether you work or not becomes almost insignificant, and that's because unearned income like investments go up exponentially. An invested dollar doesn't just earn 7 cents and quit working. It keeps earning 7 cents every year on average, and the 7 cents it earns keeps getting a 7% rate of return on itself. It just keeps going.
Obviously, investing in real life isn't as pretty as these smooth exponential curves. And you also probably won't be investing over a 100-year time frame. But hopefully the point I'm trying to make is obvious. Given enough time, unearned income will absolutely dwarf earned income. Reaching financial independence can take a long time, so don't ignore this. The earlier you start building unearned income, the better. It can cut years, maybe even decades off of your journey to financial independence. Unfortunately, most of the financial advice I've seen focuses on the wrong thing. They talk about high salaries or passive income. That's really not what you need to reach financial independence. To see what I'm talking about, you need to watch this video.